Okay, let's start. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16. So in chapter 14, Krishna has enunciated the different effect of the different gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. And then in the 15th chapter, he has summarized, it's given a whole summary of the Gita, sort of, where the important thing was that there's this tree which is inverted, and it binds through the different identifications of the karma, and the only way to be free from it, the tree of prakriti, the nature, the primordial nature, and it binds the soul, the individual being. And the only way to be free from this is asanga shastrena dradhena chitva, by commitment to this asanga, the again and again recognizing the difference between the body and the senses, and to realize that that which is actually knowing, perceiving all of it, the source of all of it, in the heart of hearts, the witness of all, is that one divinity, and that is imperishable. That was the summary. He has summarized the whole knowledge so far. But the me is not a limited me, but all encompassing, the divine in every heart. So now in just chapter 16, it is the enunciation of the opposites fully, the qualities. So we saw sattva, rajas, tamas, but how does it manifest in practice? The divine and the demonic qualities, daivasur sambhav. That's what is the topic of this chapter. That's what he's detailing out, the diversification of the nature. So Krishna starts talking. Sri Bhagwan says, he's counting the different qualities, the divine qualities: absolute fearlessness, perfect purity of mind, constant fixity in the yoga of meditation for the sake of self realization, and charity in its sattvic form, control, a say over the senses. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means self study. And tapa means austerity. Study and teaching of the knowledge and other sacred books, as well as, I mean, a lot of this is not what the shloka is, but the author has elaborated on their own interpretation. So basically, this is yagna and swadhyaya. That is what he has elaborated. We have seen already, yagna means that through which the knowledge comes forth, and there are many forms of yagna. Even the food that we eat, that is also a form of yagna, because through that the body is sustained. The fire, into the fire of the digestion we are offering. The breathing is also, it can be a yagya when it is done with that sense of offering the breath in, breath into the out breath, and both into the prana, into the life force, for the greater good. So yagna, swadhyay, and tapa, with sincerity. These are the different qualities. Then non-violence, then truthfulness and gentleness of geniality of speech, absence of anger even on provocation, and peacefulness, peace, calmness, disclaiming doership in respect of actions, quietude or composure of mind, abstaining from slander, compassion towards all creatures, absence of attachment to the objects of senses even during their contact with the senses, mildness, a sense of shame in transgressing the scriptures or social conventions and abstaining from frivolous pursuit. Some of this is possibly interpretation here. A sense of responsibility in honoring the customs. That is probably what is meant in the Sanskrit here, more than the shame or guilt in abstaining. Then sublimity, brilliance, forgiveness, mm, fortitude, forbearance, external purity, having enmity to nobody, um, cleanliness, inner and outer, lack of arrogance, absence of self esteem is incorrect, absence of arrogance. These are the marks of one who is born with divine endowments, Arjun. Hypocrisy, arrogance, pride, anger, sternness, and ignorance. These are the marks of the one born with the demoniac properties. The divine properties, the divine wealth has been recognized as conducive to liberation, the demoniac one as leading to bondage. Grieve not, Arjun, for you are born with the divine propensities. There are only two types of people in this world, Arjun, the one possessing a divine nature, the other possessing a demonic nature. Of these, the type possessing divine nature has been dealt with at length. Now, hear in detail from me about the type possessing demonic nature. The person possessing a demonic nature knows not what is right and uh, is not able to stay away, abstinence from the what is incorrect, what is wrong activity. Hence, they possess neither external or internal purity, nor good conduct, nor even truthfulness. Men of demonic disposition say this world is without any foundation, absolutely unreal and godless, brought forth by mutual union of male and female, and hence conceived in lust. What else than this? Clinging to this false view, these slow witted people of wild disposition and terrible deeds are wrongdoers to mankind for the destruction of the world. Cherishing insatiable desires and embracing false doctrines through ignorance, these people of impure conduct move in this world full of hypocrisy, pride, and arrogance, giving themselves up to innumerable worries, ending only with death. They remain devoted to the enjoyment of sensuous pleasures and are firm in their belief that this is the highest limit of joy. Held in bondage by hundreds of ties of expectation and wholly giving themselves up to lust and anger, they strive to amass by unfair means hoards of money and other objects for the enjoyment of sensuous pleasures. They say to themselves, this much has been secured by me today, and now I shall realize this ambition. So much wealth is already with me, and yet again this shall be mine. That enemy has been slain by me, and I shall kill those others too. I am the Lord of all, the enjoyer of all power. I am endowed with all occult powers, and am mighty and happy. I'm wealthy, own a large family. Who else is equal to me? I will sacrifice to gods, will give alms, I will make them merry. Thus, deluded by ignorance, enveloped in the mesh of delusion, addicted to the enjoyment of sensuous pleasures, their minds bewildered by numerous thoughts, these people of devilish disposition fall into the foulest hell. Intoxicated by wealth and honor, these self conceited and haughty men perform yajna only in the name for ostentation without following the sacred rituals. Given over to egotism, brute force arrogance, lust and anger, and calumniating others, criticizing others, they despise the indweller, me, dwelling in their own bodies as well as in those of others. Those haters, sinful, cruel, and vilest among people, I cast again and again into demonical wombs in this world. Failing to reach me, Arjun, these stupid souls are born life after life in demonic wombs and then verily sink down to a still lower plane. Desire, anger, and greed. These are the triple gates of hell. Gurudev has many times he has made us, emphasize this in various talks. Desire, anger, and greed are the three gates of hell, bringing about the downfall of the soul. Therefore, one should shun all these three. Freed from these three gates of hell, people work for their own salvation and thereby attain the supreme goal, that is the divine. So, in this, so again, this supreme goal, divine, these are all the insertions of this person who has translated, but it says, freed from this three gates, um, this person works the path of greater good and moves forward on the path. That is what the text says. Param Gatim moves with great speed forward, progresses forward. Discarding the injunctions of the scriptures, one who acts in arbitrary way to fulfill their own desires, uh, they do not attain perfection, the siddhis, the perfection or the powers, nor any happiness, nor the supreme goal, nor the supreme path, nor do they progress on the path. Therefore, the scripture alone is your guide in determining what should be done and what should not be done. Knowing this, you ought to perform only such action as is ordained by the scriptures. तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे दैवासुरसम्पद्विभागयोगो नाम षोडशोऽध्यायः. There ends the 16th chapter, the yoga of division between divine and the demonical qualities or properties. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Hari Om. Chapter 17. Arjun says, so now after hearing this, Arjun says, okay, those endowed with faith who worship uh, all the divine forms and disregarding the injunctions of scriptures, where do they stand? So those who endowed with faith, who worship but yet they are not following the scriptures, they are not following the methods, where do they stand? Are they in sattva, rajas, or tamas? Sri Bhagwan said that untutored innate faith of people is of three kinds: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So this is now he's elaborating the three kinds of faith: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. The faith of people conforming to conforms to their mental disposition. Faith is what makes the person. Whatever the nature of their faith, that is what they become. That is what they are. The people of sattvic disposition, they have affinity towards the devas, to the forces. The devas being they honor the forces of nature like fire, water, air, all those things. Devas. Uh, those of the Rajasic temperament worship yakshas and rakshasas, the demons and the demigods, while those of tamasic nature worship the spirits of the dead and ghosts. People who practice severe penance of an arbitrary type not sanctioned by the scriptures, and who are full of hypocrisy and egotism, and are obsessed with desire, attachment, and pride of power, and one who emaciate the elements constituting their body as well as me, the supreme spirit dwelling in their heart. So one who torture themselves. Know those senseless people to have demonic disposition. Food also, which is agreeable to different people according to their disposition, is of three types. And likewise, the yagyas, the tapas, and the dan, the charity, the gifts, they are also given, they are also of three types: sattva, rajas, tamas. The foods which promote longevity, intelligence, vigor, health, happiness, and cheerfulness, and which are juicy, succulent, substantial, and naturally agreeable, are liked by people of sattvic nature. Foods which are bitter, sour, salty, too hot, pungent, dry, and burning. Hot meaning spicy, and dry and burning, and which cause suffering, grief, and sickness, are dear to the Rajasic. Food which is ill cooked or not fully ripe, insipid, putrid, stale, polluted, and which is impure too, is dear to the people of Tamasic disposition. The um, yagyas, which are done without um, without expecting any return, one who engages in the act of knowledge without uh, expecting any return, just following their duty, who believe that these sacrifices must be performed with equanimity. Such people are sattvic in nature. However, the yagyas, the acts which are done for the sake of mere show, or even with an eye to its fruit, in order to get something, that is the Rajasic Yajna. So, a study undertaken for a certain goal, for some vested interest, that is a Rajasic in nature. However, a Yajna which is not in conformity with scriptures, nothing is offered, no there is no dakshina. Dakshina means skillful giving. So the person who is giving is grateful that the person who is accepting allowed them to give. That is called dakshina. Dakshina, this is not sacrificial fees. That is incorrect translation. Dakshina is a gift. Uh, so this is so where the person is not even grateful enough, that they are not even making an effort to give a gift or honor or surprise the person who did all that for them. There is no sense of uh, gratefulness, and where there is no sacred chants of the mantras, uh, and there is no faith. This type of yajna is called tamasic yajna. Now, again, um, now defining tapas. So yagya he defined, now he's defining the tapas. So what is tapas? Tapas is honoring the devas, the forces of nature, the brahmanas, the seeker of Brahman, the one's guru, elders, and the wise people, honoring them, taking care of them. Then purity, straightforwardness, sincerity, brahmacharya, being committed to the bigger vision, bigger picture, and non-violence. These are called the physical tapas, the tapas for the body. Tapas, the austerity for the body. Tapas literally means fire, burning, enduring, enduring the discomfort. So this is define the tapas for the body. Then the tapas for the speech. Words which cause no annoyance to others and are truthful, agreeable, and beneficial, as well as the study of. So again, Swadhyaya, he's this person is defined as Swadhyaya, study of Vedas. Swadhyaya means self-study, being observing, uh, contemplating on the knowledge, studying the knowledge, listening to the knowledge, all those things. Um, and then chanting of divine name. None of this is written in that verse. The verse simply says Swadhyaya and Abhyasanam. Abhyasa means study, study with honor. Vangmayam tap uchyate. So that is the penance, the tapasya of the penance of the speech. What is the penance of the speech? To speak that which is truthful but not hurtful to anybody and beneficial to people, which will bring harmony and which will bring some uh, relief and some benefit to people, and um, to speak what would promote the self study and aid in the abhyasa, in the practice, the honorful practice, that kind of a speech. This is called the tapas of the speech. Silence is also tapas of the speech. So that is the tapas of the speech. And cheerfulness of mind. Mana prasada. Prasada means, prasad is the gift of presence, gift of happiness. Cheerfulness of the mind. Saumyatvam, very gentle. You know how we say gentleness, very beautiful gentleness. Soothing. Maunam atma vinigraha, quietness, having silence, having being able to be quiet, and atma vinigraha, having a say over discipline over the senses, and the purity of inner feelings. So sometimes we can be quiet, but inner there can be a storm brewing. Not like that. When the inner feelings are also pure and there is calmness inside as well as outside, uh, this is called the tapas of the mind. So we say in the silence course that this is a silence where you smile at yourself, cheerfulness. So that is the tapas of the mind, and the purification of the inner feelings is happening. So this threefold penance, what is the threefold penance of the body, speech, and the mind? Threefold penance performed with supreme faith by yogis, expecting no return, is called the uh, sattvic tapas. Now, if you perform the same thing for the sake of honor or adoration from others, as well as for any other selfish gain, either sincerely or just a show off, and if the result or the fruit of it is very uncertain and fleeting or momentary, then all that tapas is all uh, rajasic. The fruit does not last because all is done for a show off. Then the tapas which is resorted to out of foolish notion, just out of spite, just out of some negative emotion, and is accompanied by self mortification or is intended to harm others, such penance has been declared as tamasic. So there are people today's world also who harm others in the name of God. That is a tamasic type. So, and then same for the gift. The gift which is bestowed with a sense of duty on one from whom no return is expected. Oh, this is something to be done, like that. At appropriate time and appropriate place to a deserving person, that gift has been declared as sattvic. A gift which is given with a grudging spirit and with the object of getting something in return or in hope of obtaining a reward. I'll do this so that I get better seat in heaven. That is called rajasic. You give something to with a fruit in mind. That is rajasic. And the gift which is made without any good grace, with disdain, and which is out of time at a wrong time, wrong place, and to undeserving person, that is called a tamasic dana, tamasic gift. So Om Tat Saditi Nirdesho. So Om Tat Sat. This has been declared as the triple appellation of the Brahman, that which is the truth, consciousness, and bliss. By this, where the Brahmanas are different sections of the Brahmanas and Aranyaks in the Vedas. So, by this, where these Brahmanas in the Vedas, as well as the sacrifices, as the sacrifices again is yajna. So, Brahmanas, the Vedas, and the Yagyas, they were all created at the cosmic dawn. At the beginning, the concept or this idea came into somebody's mind. From the origin of all this is Om Tat Sat. The truth is from where all this originates. Therefore, um, that's why all the yagyas, charity, austerity uh, are always commenced by noble people with the invocation of Om. So all of the good, all of the yagya, whether it be any yagya, even what we are doing now is a yagya, then any gifts that we give, uh, and then the tapa, so the austerity. So yagya, the components of the yagya again are the giving the gifts to those who need it and those who deserve it, supporting the knowledge at various levels of the society, supporting, eliminating suffering at various levels of the society. Tapas means enduring the discomfort, and Sangati Karana, coming together, uniting in this purpose. That is, that all these three together is the definition of the yajna. And when this is done uh, with honor and with as it supposed to be done, as it is needs to be done properly, as it has the tradition following whatever the guidelines the wise people have laid down, uh, it is always commenced with the name Om, with the idea that all this belongs to the divine, who is denoted by the word Tat. The acts of the yajna and tapas, as well as the dana, the charity of various kinds, are performed by the seekers of liberation, expecting no return for them. This belongs to that, and it is going back to that. It is offering what belongs to nature, giving it back to it. So, no, without any return, without being caught up in the return. Then, Sat, the truth, is used in the sense of reality and goodness. And the word Sat is also used in the sense of a praiseworthy, auspicious action, Arjun. Yeah. Sadhu bhave. So sadhu bhave means it's with a very sincere, pure heart. So the sadbhave means with a very good heart, pure heart, with the piety of a seeker, of a monk. Uh, that is how this word has been put in Om Tat Sat. So the steadfastness in the yagya, in the dana, in the tapas and the dana, uh, that is also spoken of as sat. And the action for the sake of, here it says God, but actually action for the sake of yagya, tapas, and dan, without any expectation of fruit in return, that is also verily termed as sat. And an offering or a gift which is given, or any austerity practiced, um, whatever good deed performed, if it is without faith, it is termed as asat, and it is of no use, no avail here or hereafter. And there ends the chapter 17, Shraddha Traya Vibhagya Yoga Nama Saptadashodhyaya. ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे श्रद्धात्रयविभागयोगो नाम सप्तदशोऽध्यायः। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्।